We would be spoiled to get another game as good as this in the national championship. The 2023 matchup between Ohio State and Notre Dame had much more going for it than two big-name programs facing off. It was an unproven coach looking for revenge against his alma mater, a 90-year-old starting a social media beef before the game, which turned into this.
What he said about our team, I cannot believe.
This is the type of stuff you only see in a movie, and of course, we can't forget the critical mistake on the final play that broke Notre Dame fans. How did this game set the stage for what we're about to see to end the 2024 season? Before we get started, I want to know who you guys have winning in the comments. Notre Dame fans, give me a go Irish. Ohio State fans, give me a go Bucks. If you love college football, feel free to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss out on another upload like this. September 23rd, 2023 in South Bend, Indiana. Both programs were obviously riding high on championship aspirations. It's Ohio State and Notre Dame, come on now. But each side had their own questions and doubts. OSU was coming off a heartbreaking loss in the CFP semifinal against Georgia in the previous season, and they also had to replace number 2 overall pick in the draft, CJ Stroud at quarterback. Kyle McCord, a junior and backup for the last 2 seasons, would be taking the reins, and this would be his first major test. For Notre Dame, they were also running an experiment with a new quarterback, but he was added from the transfer portal. 6th-year senior and the most handsome man in college football, Sam Hartman. This game was big for the Irish, considering they had a disappointing season in 2022 where they lost a 2-score game on the road against the same Buckeye team and also got beat by both of their annual rivals, Stanford and USC, to go 9-4 overall. It wasn't do or die for Marcus Freeman, but in his second full season during 2023, fans were hungry to see improvement, and if they didn't, they would start to get impatient. This matchup had some more feel behind it for Freeman since he played in Columbus from 2004 to 2008. But surprisingly, we saw more emotion on the other side of the field. The drama leading up to the game wasn't just because it was a top 10 matchup between two proud programs. Instead, like Deion Sanders said, it got personal. A day before they played, former legendary Notre Dame head coach Lou Holtz made headlines when he appeared on TV and criticized Ryan Day's coaching.
He has lost to Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Michigan twice, and everybody that beats him does so because they're more physical than Ohio State.
These comments went viral, sparking dialogue and enraging Buckeye fans. But to be fair, at this point in Ryan Day's career, he had struggled to get the big win. When words like these come from a college football channel like me, it's not going to get under the skin of a coach like Ryan Day. But when it's coming from a very well-respected person within the same field who knows what it takes to win, it's clear that Day took the message to heart and used it as fuel. In the first half, the game lived up to the hype as a defensive slug match. Both teams had opportunities in the red zone to put up points, but failed early. Ohio State was able to keep Irish running back Audric Estime from doing anything too crazy, and Notre Dame's secondary did a good job at limiting star wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. Ohio State did get blue-balled in their final drive of the first half, as half the stadium thought Emeka Egbuka caught a touchdown pass from Kyle McCord, but it turned out to be a clear drop. The Bucs settled for a field goal to break the seal, and it was a whopping 3-0 score at halftime. The second half is where the scoring picked up. Notre Dame again failed to convert on a 4th down past the 50 on their opening drive, and Ohio State took advantage, scoring on a massive Travion Henderson 61-yard touchdown run with 11 minutes to go in the third. The ensuing drive would be monumental for the Irish to stay in the game, and they delivered, marching 75 yards to score on 13 plays. Fourth quarter, after a few big gain plays through the air, Notre Dame went 96 yards down the field this time and scored, capped by a Sam Hartman passing touchdown and a 14-10 lead. Here's where the Irish thought they had the Buckeyes. Just 4 minutes left in the game, Ohio State's possession on Notre Dame's 10-yard line in a 4th and inches. Remember guys, 2 inches is a lot. The Bucs opted against pounding it up the middle and handed it out wide to Emeka Egbuka to get the edge, and he got stood up. At this point, according to analytics, Notre Dame had over a 90% chance to win. They could have essentially run the clock out with a few more first downs on the ground. round. But of course, that didn't happen. The Irish punted it away with 1:30 to go, and the Bucs started at their own 35 with one timeout to work with. It was finally time to see what Kyle McCord was made of in the clutch. On a huge 3rd and 10, he completed a pass to his favorite target, Egbuka, to move the sticks into Irish territory. Another 3rd down, this time with 19 to go, and McCord again completes a big gainer to Egbuka for 21 yards, and it was just crushing as a Notre Dame fan. But it gets worse, because if you're a fan of the green and gold, the ending that I'm about to show you might make you sick again. Everything came down to one play. 3 seconds left, Ohio State ball at the Irish 1-yard line. But wait a minute. If you look closely, Notre Dame only has 10 players on the field, a catastrophic mistake. They were clearly missing a defensive lineman that could have helped stop the run. After the game, Marcus Freeman said they were trying to get another lineman on the field, but didn't want to risk a penalty considering they had no timeouts left. These types of moments do happen occasionally in college football, but to have it happen after a 60-minute dogfight in a game that would have shaped your entire season is just brutal and inexplicable. Man down, and Ohio State took advantage. It was pure disappointment and scrutiny on the Irish side, but for Ohio State, it was elation because Ryan Day did not forget about those Lou Holtz comments.
I'd like to know where Lou Holtz is right now. What he said about our team, I cannot believe. This is a tough team right here. We're proud to be from Ohio, and it's always been Ohio against the world, and it'll continue to be Ohio against the world. But I'll tell you what, I love those kids, and we got a tough team.
That clip was legendary, and I don't want you to get the wrong idea and think I'm a secret Ohio State fan. I have a lot of new viewers now, and most of you probably don't know that I go to Oregon State and I am a Beaver fan. Regardless of fandom, the pure emotion from Day was great to see. Although both teams' rosters are revamped from 2023, the intensity from 2024 will stay the same. Marcus Freeman is still looking for that elusive win over his alma mater, rectifying his mistake from a year ago, plus the program as a whole hasn't won a title since 1988. Ohio State has been dominant over this team in recent years, but Ryan Day still has something to prove to critics who think his group isn't tough enough to win a natty, a narrative that was perpetuated after the Michigan loss, but has been less talked about after this recent run. All signs are pointing to the conclusion that we'll get another classic, and I cannot wait. Thank you guys for reaching the end of the video. I've been Saturday Shenanigans, your home for unfiltered college football content, and I'll see you guys soon.